You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network.
Well, hello, siblings, and happy Labor Day.
It is, though. Happy Monday, Labor Day.
Yeah,
if you're
to those
listening
who
on Monday.
and who celebrate it.
Celebrate, yeah.
Because we don't technically. We're part of the United States, and we're
Sure.
getting the day off.
Right, just because we happen to work in industries that observes it.
But
Which I never used to until the last couple of years. So I'm just like, hey, what's up with 3-day weekend? What's up?
what about it? I told you, it's wonderful. But
It is kind of nice. Although, I do have one complaint. Because I used to get so much more stuff done because I wasn't off on the same days as everyone else. That now I'm like, I have a 3-day weekend, but everything's a mess to try to get done now because everyone's off work too.
that's true.
So now it's kind of a love-hate where I'm like, all these years I was always jealous on looking to all of you people who got just any holiday off, really. I had to work them all. And then now I'm like, oh, but this is what you've been doing the whole time? Maybe I should just make that paycheck on today. Yeah.
Perhaps.
But
But I mean, we saying we celebrate it, we just take advantage of it, honestly.
right,
We
I get
just
a
the
day
off.
off. Yeah, I don't do anything special. Some people grill, go out, do that, maybe bar hopping. I don't know. Bars are usually open still.
I guess.
Here, I don't know about everywhere, but here we make sure bars are open on holidays.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I did go visit my brother.
Yes.
And his wife and my nephew, which I don't get to see very often. It was a nice little, weekend getaway for Labor Day and whatnot. And we got to hang out and I got to see his personality. You know, he's about a year old, and he's kind of coming into his own.
Getting one?
Yeah, he's a very demanding child, and I guess what 1-year-old isn't, they're
Once
just
they
like,
find their voice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he wants something, he knows how to kind of point in that direction. Is like that. That's what I want. That right there.
You are the larger human that could make that happen in my observations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still unable. So
It's like, so if you could help me out.
just do me a solid, man, and will that over my direction. That'd be great.
But I'll tell you, the one interesting aspect of his personality that I was really blown away by. Would you like to know what well, I don't want to say his absolute favorite, because he has a wide swath of interesting musical choices that he seems to enjoy. But
Oh, yes?
the one that caught me off guard the most, but I was like, good taste, kid. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Nice.
He
Bringing them
digs-
up right, huh?
Yeah. It's like he hears, what's the one song? Oh it's one of their popular ones, and it's
And
slipping
you're,
my
like,
mind.
You know me and names of anything.
Anyway, we won't even try to pick
September?
the damn. Perhaps. I don't want to assume or name the wrong. Anyway, point being, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yes, that one in particular was one
or something.
that he was playing, or that was playing in the background of video, and he just started dancing. He's just like, yeah, just getting into it. And I was like, all right, man.
That's what we do.
So he was really digging it.
Nice.
And I liked it.
Bring
It
it
was
up right.
it was nice to see, because you know what he's going to have to deal with and contend with, and I hate when people say this to me, and I don't know if you've ever encountered this before, but say I knew maybe, hey, like the Munsters, the Munsters. Sure. That's something from the 1960s, and apparently since I didn't grow up in that time frame,
Sure.
or in that
right.
decade.
Like it happened before me. Yeah.
Then I shouldn't know a damn thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't know anything. And if or maybe a movie, this is one of the more recent ones, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay.
Came out in the 70s, honestly. And Stanley Kubrick. It's a classic to many, boring to some. That's, I get it. Kubrick's a little divisive.
Sure. Yeah.
But someone was just like, 2001. You probably don't know anything about that, huh? And I was like, Oh, no, I wouldn't know anything about that. Funny enough, there was this one movie, came back out, I don't know, had Bruce Dern, called Silent Runnings, probably a very underrated sci-fi classic. Came out in 1970. I don't know anything about anything.
Yeah.
So
I think every adult feels the need to do that to any younger generation before them. Like, there's no way you would know that. And sometimes I'm even blown away at like kids born in the 2000s or whatever that tells me stuff they listen to. I'm like, hey, well done.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing too, is I have these, for me, I think it's kind of the opposite. Like, I just assume everyone knows the thing that I know. Like, the very first time
I do kind of walk around going, there's no way I know something someone else doesn't. So I'll just start the conversation as if you're totally in the know with me already. Yeah.
Exactly. So I kind of assume that everyone has this knowledge. Mm-hmm. And I think the very first time I ever encountered this, it was a job I had, I think, before the one I've got now. Uh-huh. And me and a guy were discussing like old childhood cartoons, and I mentioned He-Man. I thought everybody knows who He-Man is. And this kid, he was about 18, he's like, "What's that?"
Oh,
and I was like, "Yeah." I said, what do you mean, what's that? I said, "You don't know what He-Man is?" And it just, my head was just like, what?
I don't know how to process this. Yeah.
But cycling backwards,
I
was like, well, I guess I can kind of understand it, but it's not, I don't know. It was, my head was having a hard time with it.
It is one of that strange things, where you just get caught in this moment loop of, are things real?
Yeah.
Was I even there?
Because in all fairness, if I'd have said Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and he said, I have absolutely no idea what that is, I think that would be a lot more jarring than He-Man, because Ninja Turtles have not really left the zeitgeist. There's always been a cartoon, there's movies, they're constant. He-Man, I'd say it's a lot more obscure.
Yeah.
When
was the last time they even did anything new with that,
I mean, there were the Netflix shows now.
Yeah.
I mean, they came out within the last year or so, but before that,
sure, knowing like the
it'd
cartoon
probably been
or the
like
comic or the whatever.
Yeah. So you probably hadn't had a new series in maybe like almost 2 decades.
Shoot, you're
perhaps.
Right.
Because the last one I could remember was on Cartoon Network around 2002, 2003, maybe.
Oh, shoot, and that's 20 years now.
Yeah, exactly. So
dear God.
So again, I thinking about it logistically, it makes sense. You're thinking about it going, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But again, Ninja Turtles, it's a little harder to swallow, because you're just like, but everybody they've been there.
Unless you're just one of those smart people who just never watch TV or something.
Or you've been sheltered, yes.
I don't know. I've met people that don't watch TV, and I'm like, what do you do with your life,
Like, read?
Yeah, I'm like, what? Make up your own imagination with words? Guys, what is your furniture pointed at?
Yeah. A wall?
Like, how are you living, man? Anyway,
no, we're not judging. Good on you for living a better life than we ever did, I guess.
Freaking out.
Yeah. I did want to bring this up while it's on my mind before I forget. Mm-hmm. If you are part of the Discord, you might be noticing a little
we're
change.
Awesome now.
Yeah. So there was a bit of a change, and this was
It threw me off. You didn't even tell me, y'all. I just
what happened?
One day. I'm like, what is happening here?
Well, it was kind of like a spur of the moment kind of thing, because Dava, our good friend David, kind of hit me up, and he was just like, have you ever thought about maybe turning this Discord into a Pencil and Paper Productions Discord as opposed to a Super Mega Crash? He said that way you can kind of bring in those horror ramblers, and I was like, well, that's.
Get the other listeners in there.
I said before we did the Super Mega Crash Discord, I had actually created it as a Pencil Paper Productions Discord, and I thought
before, right?
Yeah, but I kind of had it just sitting there, like I hadn't really opened it up, and then I kind of connected it to the Patreon, but no one was doing anything with it, and I thought, screw it. I said, we'll just open it up, and then I'll reformat it, and then we can just turn it into Super Mega Crash, because apparently that's where the people will be. Well, clearly no one's coming in. I love you,
true.
siblings. I'm just
We
kidding.
got 2 more, and you guys are missing out. We're having all sorts of hoots and laughs, and
We're having people.
we're talking. We're chatting.
Yeah,
It's almost
we're doing
like
it.
we are doing stuff in there, you guys.
We're really doing it now. I mean, you have no idea the conversations.
Like, dated in September even. Last message. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
So, I mean, it's
my Atta girls.
it's a wild ride over there right
It
now.
really is.
So the idea is that I am gonna open it up to the Ramblers, or at least they'll get their message eventually. But what I do want to do, and I hope people kind of understand what I'm trying to do with this, and hopefully it doesn't get too complicated, because I feel like I can make this happen.
Okay.
Because I'm still trying to learn the management of Discord.
Which will update and change on you in a week. So just
yeah. So the concept is that we'll have the siblings and we'll have the Ramblers, and then we might have other if there's other podcasts.
Well, you're always gonna start new podcasts.
Well, I've got 3 others that have turned stagnant, and there's inspired
maybe
by.
Just say it ran its run. I would say turned stagnant. You probably just it ran its run.
I would say, as I recall, it has not quite ran its run. It's just I need the time to get back to writing because I've got ideas. I've jotted them down so I don't forget them.
Yeah.
Inspired by Weeaboo is another one that me and my wife have talked about. I want to get it back up because that was technically her podcast. That's also one of those things that I would like her to just,
take over,
run and go with, and then I can edit it, and then you just record, and then that kind of thing. That would be nice.
Yeah. No.
But that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, so if we can ever get that back up, there might be a room for them. But I thought I felt like it would be a good idea to separate. So if you have a sibling role, you get to look at the Super Mega Crash stuff, like in one section. Mm-hmm. And then if you have a Rambler role, then you get to look at all the Rambler stuff in that section. Now, if you want to be both, you can be both. If you don't want to,
just emote the thing with what do you want to see? What
right.
Do you
if you want to be, if you love video games and you love horror, you can be both. If you just want to focus on video games, then that's all you got to worry about. Mm-hmm. It might seem a little complicated, but I just feel like that way you're not having to dig through so many channels. Mm-hmm. You just see what you get to, what you want to see, and that's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I did also post, and this felt a little redundant, but at the same time I was like, but it's there. It's just another avenue. Most of the series that I've done on YouTube are on there. I created channels, so if you're just looking for that thing specifically, it's there, but it's no different on the website. You can go to the website, find all that stuff there. I'm trying to create avenues for everything. So
where do you prefer to check it out? Yeah. We got you.
I got you. If you want to look at more details, like if you're just looking for the episodes, you can go to Discord, boom, done, there it is.
Yep.
Or you can go to YouTube.
Wherever you listen or whatever. Yeah.
If you want more details, that's why you go to the website. That's where you get the trivia and the extra stuff and the bonus contents. All that jazz. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. Bear with me. David's got my back. I know you got my back. So
as long as I know what's going on.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was I was kind of. I had nothing to do. I think it was Fridays when I did it.
I just saw the icon change, and I'm like, "What? What did I join now?" And then when I opened it up, I was like, "Oh, this is what he's doing." All right,
Yeah, it was just spur of the moment Friday. I had some time to kill, and I was like, "All right, well, let's just do this thing. Let's just get on it."
Yep. No,
because my head was there, and I was just like, I can do a good portion of this today, and then I can clean up later. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. There. So if you want to join, the Discord link should still be the same. I probably will post it on other platforms as it becomes available. Mm-hmm. We do have a link tree. I've never mentioned that, I don't think. But if you go to our Twitter page, we have a link tree, and it's got all the links to the things for Super Mega Crash. So it's all there. What else was I wanted to talk about? There was something else I wanted to talk about that let's talk about because this is coming up. Or it will be my plan. But, plans can change. Episode 5 of Super Mega Crash Adventures will be out this year.
Yes!
I promise you that. I know that it's been, it's been over a year.
Might be. I don't remember now.
I feel like it has been.
It might be about exact though.
This is
Just
why I
from
didn't
remembering when I was doing all the subtitles or the captions.
Yeah. And you just think about that. If I'd have held off until I had all 6 done, this still wouldn't be out now.
Well, we don't have a slew of people who work for us and can get things done on the fly, you know? I'm sure every independent creator just felt that in their soul. Like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
If I had all the time in the world, the things I could pump out. Yeah. Yeah.
But I have been taking my time trying to work on that amidst doing, obviously, this show, Horror Ramblers, and then doing the Joe Blow videos on top of that. And, you know, that's a hard thing to turn down, you know.
That's what you've wanted to do for a while. No
Well, the
way
thing
in
is-
the world you should turn that down.
Well, yeah, I mean, what I mean, I guess, is I can turn a video down, you know, because I am freelance.
Sure.
But in doing so, I'm saying, nah, I don't want that money.
Or that experience, that fun, that credit, that, you know, I mean.
Yeah. So in
you
the back of my head, every time I'm just like I'm exhausted, but at the same time I'm just like, money, money. Remember, I'm getting paid for this.
Yeah, you're actually a paid gig.
So I have to set that aside. So it does kind of take top priority, you know. And so anytime I get a chance to work on Super Mega Crash Adventures, I am trying to take, because I'm so close, or at least when I say I'm so close, if you look at the timeline, okay, I probably have maybe 3 to 4 minutes left to edit, but when I say edit, I mean animate.
Right.
I have
That's
to
a
put
lot
all
of
the
scenes.
flapping lips and movements and whatnot, and it takes forever.
I can imagine.
And not for everybody. That's the funny part. It just depends on what's going on, because your character, you know, you do have the flappy lips, but I have to make sure that there is precision. I don't want it just
Well, you
because
want it to look like the character is actually saying the words.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what's very key about it, is when I'm animating you, it's trying to make sure that certain, like, you're not going to see your mouth move if you're making an S sound or something like that. It's just not going to happen, because why would you be?
Unless you animate me teeth, I guess, to do
And that would
this
just be a
thing.
hard, it'd just be a weird thing to do, because that's another thing I've considered doing, and it just looks weird.
I bet it would,
know,
though, because
teeth.
there's nothing. Just the style would look
Yeah.
weird just to give me teeth. Although for a joke, maybe keep that
For
in
me.
mind.
Yeah.
Because of how ridiculous it may look, it could be funny.
See, I even had to do that with one of the other characters, and I don't want to talk about the other characters just yet, because
No. You guys have to come watch.
Yeah.
Be surprised.
But one of the other characters that I've been trying to animate, there is how do I go about this? There's a particular style to these characters, much like we all have our own style.
Sure.
And one of the things that I've tried to do, there was this one particular line that was said. And when I thought about it, I was like, you know, if you really inspect the style of animation in which this reflects, there's a way that you see this happen, you know, like a look on the face, something exaggerated perhaps. Yeah. And I thought about it and I was like, how do I want to do this? Because these characters are doing something that some of the other characters, our characters, don't normally do. But it felt natural to the characters because that's what they do.
That's where they come from. That's the style.
But then there was this moment where the character had to kind of change position, change his stance. And I had to find something very particular. But then they felt stilted in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, well, do they need to be doing something here? Or, you know, because it just felt like something just, like the brakes were put on. So, but then I found this added element that I could kind of play with that worked to elevate and seem more in line with that style.
Sure.
And I know I'm sounding very cryptic, audience.
On
get
purpose.
it. Because I want you to see it. I don't want to spoil what it is, because it's a mishmash of sorts. Because it's not just one game, it's two. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But within the same vein.
Well, if you think about it, all three of us are ripped from 3 different games,
Sure.
too. So you have your work cut out for you.
And see, and that's the other thing with Todd as well. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse with that character, because we've gone so long with him not really actually seeing him talk. So it's like he's just mumbling on up under his beard or whatever, and it works,
Yeah.
But I also have found ways to kind of make him shrug or do something like that. And if there's
Some
a way,
life to it.
yeah. So it's not just doing nothing. So there was there was a moment within this episode, and this is the other part of it that's causing these delays to slow me down, is because when I think of these ideas, then that's something new I have to animate or something new I have to create.
Sure.
So there was a moment where there was a kind of an argument going on, and Todd's voice had to kind of get angry.
Okay.
So I wanted him to look angry.
Sure.
And I thought, well, what would be a good position? What would be something that would work for this? So I had to kind of create this new position, this new, sprite, I guess, if you will, of him having this angry reaction. And not only that, but I was actually able to kind of do it in a way where you could actually see his mouth move for once. So now you get to kind of see him,
Like
talk.
doing stuff.
So it was nice. It was just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, and it works. It flows within the moment. And there was even another one I told you about that I'm anxious for you to see, but
I can't wait to also. I want to
because for the audience's sake, there's a moment in the episode where her character she's having a discussion with my character, okay? And it's a pretty lengthy discussion trying to get to the root cause of a particular problem that's going on in the episode. And come back to this, please, when the episode is out so you understand what we're talking about.
What is it? Hold on.
Yeah.
September 5th, 23 minutes. There you go.
So just remember
is that
that.
helpful?
Yeah. Just remember that. Come back to this and you'll understand what we're talking about. So in that moment, all it was just you and I having this back and forth. But Todd is there. And I just kind of looked at him for a minute. And I had this same thing happen in another scene where the two of you were kind of bickering back and forth. And my character was just kind of standing.
Like, what do we do with that other person?
Yeah. I was just staring off into space for a moment. And I thought, well, I needed to be doing something here. So I just kind of turned myself around to kind of watch the argument. But I did have a reaction to some things that he had said. So I felt like that was appropriate. And when it came to that, I was like, well, he's just standing there. What should he be doing? What could he be doing?
Oh, my gosh. And with Todd.
Yeah, and I just, nothing kind of came to mind at first. And then I thought, okay, well, I have an idea. And then when that idea came about, I was like, okay, so if he does this thing, I can't have him disappear because he is still integral to everything going on. This is just a brief moment. So how do I keep this going? So then I thought about another thing with your character to kind of be a hindrance to whatever he was going to do. I'll say
the complication.
Yeah, but you're still having this conversation.
Okay.
So it was this really interesting idea, and then when I saw it in action, I was like, okay, this is good.
Right call.
This is good. Yeah. Because it adds an extra layer to it, but it doesn't break anything within the conversation between you and me.
Okay.
It was just that there was this lengthy little bit that you had to say. And I thought, well, this is the perfect time to do it. And everything just keeps going. Like, you're still having your conversation, but you're also dealing with this other thing as well. You're multitasking, and then it's put to bed, and you're back on track.
Just like I do.
Yep.
Just like
and it's a thing of beauty, honestly, because it just
I want to see it so bad.
it's something about your character. It's like it adds another thing, another layer to your character, because depending on how you view our characters up to this point,
Yeah.
I feel like this episode kind of changes a few things for every character, but it adds, or we're seeing a different side or another angle to all of our characters.
Like a human, another layer getting pulled back.
Because you, from the outset, you seem like you're on this one side, like you're being you, like you have been. But then you just start to kind of dig in a little bit on some stuff, and it's interesting because you're pushing buttons, and it's not the same buttons that you normally push. It's a different set, and you're just like, what is she up to?
I've learned. I'm adapting to my surroundings.
But it's all for the sake of humor, and that's what I kind of found interesting about it. And that's why I can't wait to get to the next episode, because episode 6 is one I'm actually really looking forward to animating, because one, I feel like it will go a lot faster because I know some of the animation style. Mm-hmm. And I already have a lot of the ideas in mind. I think the only thing we'll really have to go there is still got some casting that we need to kind of work out, because...
Oh, yeah. Well, enough time had passed, yeah.
I'll probably reach out to said people that I had reached out to prior. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, I thought the animation was going to move along quickly and swiftly. And obviously that has not been the case. Right. And those people that I reached out to years
Could
ago
very well have, not be available.
Forgotten or thought that I've forgotten about them. I haven't. It's just, this is a long, arduous process for one man to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to find faster ways to do it. And it's just not as feasible as I would like.
Yeah.
But
well,
in saying
hopefully they'd be understanding.
Sure.
I mean, we were pretty, I think, upfront during casting. Like, this is a project of love.
Yeah.
One human is doing all of the big work when we have time. Mm-hmm. And it will come out. It's just may not be as quick a turnaround as people would love. Or we would, for that matter, too.
And as you said, it's coming from a place of love and passion. Mm-hmm. Because when I went back into doing this, because for whatever reason, I honestly couldn't tell you what it was. Getting back to episode 5 was kind of for some reason, I had some mental block. I don't know what it was, but something was preventing me from getting back to it.
Sure.
And then I finally did. Mm-hmm. Like, I pushed myself. I said, no. I said, we need to get this done. I said, there's an episode here. I said, I know you're waiting to get to 6. I know you're excited for that one. But I said, well, we need to get to this one. Mm-hmm. We need to do this one now.
Right.
And once I pushed through that hump, and I've started finding a lot of things here that I'm really excited about, started playing with, like that middle section of this episode, I cannot wait for people to see. I hope people embrace it. In fact, I'm even having this crisis to say, because I thought I had it finished. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you hear a piece of music and just like, God, I love this so much. And then you start to think, where could I use that? And then you think you could possibly use it where you had it, but I already had a piece of music picked out for that. So now I'm kind of torn. Oof. But I also feel like the original music I probably will stick with, because I don't want to ruin this other song, you know what I mean?
Right,
and just use it willy-nilly for like 30 seconds.
Just cause.
Yeah. So I'm trying to push that aside, but the passion. Some people that I've tried to reach out to do voices and whatnot, I don't think they had the same passion, or they've thought it was a joke. And I've heard some of, if they have forgotten about this, there's probably a good reason that I'm not going to use their audio, because when I listened to it, I was like, I'm not using that.
Felt like it wasn't taken seriously at all, or
no, or they were trying to waste my time. So, and I'm not to say that everyone has to have like the most perfect recording stuff. I mean, hell, you go back to episode 3,
I know it might sound rude, but not everyone can. Because some people, I think, just go into the whole voice acting like it's so much easier than acting in front of a camera. And it's the same work, y'all. Maybe I don't have to put on a bunch of makeup and costumes and all this kind of stuff. But as far as the acting goes, it's the same work.
Like, I'm not going to name names, but we did have an instance that became an incident because we were trying to get a lot of audio recordings done ahead of time. And we had a character that we were going to use, not anytime soon, mind you, I'll say that.
Yeah.
So, and that might even change because, oh my God, just looking ahead at the future, because getting to 6 already feels like it's going to take forever.
It's like, I just want to get to 6.
So, because I just want to know how long it's going to take. I mean, if I can get there, because, like I said, this one seemed like it's going to be an easier way to animate, because the characters, I don't want to say they're simplistic, but they're...
The style is
more simplistic than this one. This one, was, I think that was probably one of the roadblocks I had, because of the extra time that I'm having to put in for these characters.
Sure.
To be genuine. I think that was my concern. So, point being, we had a session that was supposed to be recorded. Nothing was recorded. And said person doing the voice seemed adamant up front, like with the, what was the audition. And then when it came time to record, it was a different beast.
Yeah.
Different beast. And I started thinking to myself, it's like, and I was trying to understand. I was trying to be understanding, but at the same time, I was just like, I can't use this.
Right.
I don't know. So I didn't get anything. So I guess that kind of worked out overall, but I really hated it because the person was very nice, and I don't think that they were attempting to sabotage anything. That was not my... I don't have that belief.
Right.
But I also don't...
Just might have been a different skill set than they thought they might have had initially, or just to work on.
Right.
Just work on
so,
the future,
as you said... there is something to it. It's not just reading lines. You have to emote. And
you kind of have to still act. I'm sorry. You do. Yeah. If you want your voice to sound like you're actually in these situations, it's still acting, y'all. Like I said, I don't have to put on, I can do it in my jammies. I don't have to put on makeup or get my hair done. But as far as the acting portion goes, I'm feeling the same in those moments. You can tell when you're listening to voiceover, I'm sure we've all heard those where we're like, well, they're not in that moment, or it doesn't feel like it matches the intensity of the situation, So, yeah. And
you can ask Lace directly. We've had these conversations where I'm animating and something was said in the initial recording, because we try to do these recordings right here because I feel like it does help when we're feeding off one another.
Oh,
if you're reading something, I'm reading something. I mean, you hear that all the time.
Or if nothing else, get to hear what yours was saying so you can match the intensity. So it feels like you're actually having the conversation with each other and that it wasn't just spliced in afterwards. Right.
Yeah. So, and then, we've done both. But say... for the sake of whatever, as I'm animating, as I'm doing something, as a director and the editor at the same time, there may be something that was said a certain way that just doesn't quite hit it. So in the moment it sounded great, but in the context of the scene and you're starting to see it play out, it just doesn't work.
Right. You
would not believe, and this is something that has kind of bothered me, but I'm also kind of glad that I found other additions, like I've mentioned. But I've actually had to cut stuff from this that I've never really done from the others. Like, we've had changes, obviously. Like, there's been scenes that we've reworked and
updated
tooled.
Jokes to make more sense, things like that.
Yeah. Just because something wasn't landing like it should have. But in this, I've just outright removed stuff because it was like, this isn't working at all. And I really don't see any other reason to add in a new joke
shove it in,
or tweak the joke in any way. Like, I know there was this one that I had between me and Todd, and I think I was just trying to give our characters a little bit more of, kind of a friendly ribbing or something going on.
Some personality. Show the fact that you guys have known each other for a while. Yeah.
Whatever it was, but in the context of the scene, as I was sitting there listening to it, I was like, I don't like this joke. And it really doesn't add anything to anything here, so I'm just going to chuck it in the bin and be done with it.
Yeah.
And again, there's been at least 2 or 3 other lines or just little tidbits, and I'm just like, nope, trash, nope, trash.
I'm sure that's part of the process, though, right?
Sure.
Once you go through it and you see it, you're like, well, that didn't hit the way it did in my head, and no matter what I'm doing, we tried. We tried the idea.
And that's and that's perfectly fine, because hell, you take a look at that middle sequence that I mentioned before. This was not something scripted, because it was supposed to be between how do I say this? Practically, let's just say there are 3 set pieces. Okay. Initially in the script, it was 2. It was where we start and then where we end up. And I thought, I guess we could do a little something in the middle. I said, but what would be something to do? And I thought maybe we'd just kind of drop in and just kind of see us waltzing for just a brief moment. And then it turned into something bigger. I was like, no. We could do something bigger here. Something more fun. Mm-hmm. And then just these ideas started popping into my head. And suddenly it turned into what it is now. And I'm happy with it. Like, I really genuinely am, because it was like, this is an insane thing. But what it does is it adds context in a different way. Because my character seems like he has an issue with something. And we're not quite sure what it is.
Okay.
And then this montage kind of gives you this feeling that, okay,
I see where they're going then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you start to be like, okay. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of builds from that. So that's as much as I can say without spoiling anything.
Sure.
But
yeah. No, I can't wait.
Again, I think it worked a lot better than I'd planned for it to. So I'm excited about that.
Good.
So hopefully by the end of the year. That's at least the best promise I can make.
Which is fair. That's still plenty of time, and also not plenty of time.
Yeah. Because I guess what it comes down to is I know that I've already got, like, I don't have it in my hand, but I already know what my next assignment is for Joe Blow. So
good. Okay.
I know that it's waiting for me, and it could be next week, it could be the week after, it could be the week after next. I don't know.
You don't know.
But I'm probably expecting next week.
Okay.
To be fair. Looking at the time frame, I just finished one, Bad Boys versus Rush Hour. If you haven't checked that out yet, go check that out right now.
And you can find it in the Discord.
That's right. I'm making it easy for everybody.
See, you could just go right
I even thought about
there.
adding it to, in fact, I think I did. Did I?
What?
I may have added them to the website as well.
Oh, I didn't go over there since the update on the Discord, so I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, well, it's in all the places. Like I said, I'm trying to give people access to everything, so you always find it.
Oh, well,
you know where to look.
I clicked on the link tree. It's a podcast official website. It is. Whew. Let's see. Let's go to the website. It's loading.
Go to the website. See, and all of you could be doing this right now
I'm doing it
pencilpaperproductions.com.
With ease. It's all right there. I forgot what I was looking for now.
The Joe Blow videos. There should be a section. Look under the extras tab up at the top, and there should be something labeled Joe Blow? No? Okay, sorry. Well,
Super Mega Crash, Man Cave, Porter Nails, Savor the Flavor,
no.
Slapdash Spasmatic, which is one we haven't talked about in a while.
I need to put that back up on the Discord.
Oh, I'm sorry. Extras. I'm a big fat liar. 2004 Diamond Years, The Vault Music Videos, Podcast reassembled. So no, that was under extras. So not yet. So that's the plan.
I know. I remember now. I remember what I was doing.
Okay.
I started it. So I have created a page. It's in a draft stage right now.
Oh, okay.
Because what I thought would be fun, again, giving more for the people who go to the website, is I'm going to explain where my head was at, my process, when I started it.
Nice.
So you'll have a little paragraph to kind of give you a little bit of extra trivia from my perspective, from my end, saying, this is the very first video I did, this is what I was thinking, yada, 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 and then boom. So you have a little insight as to my editing process.
Back when we had VHS, you see.
Yeah, you see. I didn't understand.
It wasn't as easy to just reshoot this and delete. But yes.
But yeah, I hope everyone will go check those out. Please come join us on the Discord. You can ask us questions over there. I'd love to talk about this stuff more. I mean,
absolutely.
If you got questions about it, you know, I don't. It may seem egotistical, but I like talking about the stuff that it's in my head. It helps me get it out there.
It's your passion. It's what's fun. So of course, why wouldn't you love having a conversation with someone else about that sort of thing? For sure. Yeah. I'll get a hobby at some point that I'm excited to talk about with people. Yeah.
That's why, you know, a lot of the stuff on the website, I think that's one of the reasons I laid it out there. I know there's not really a direct line to me on the website, but you can come over to the Discord if you've looked at stuff on the website and you want to talk to me about some of the stuff over there. There's still plenty of things that I'm still trying to get posted on that damn website because, again, that's another thing I'm trying to do. I'm going to have to create a schedule, you know? It's like, today is the day I got to work on this. Tomorrow I work on this. The next day I work on this. But I can't help it. Once I get, like, with the Super Mega Crash thing, that's where my focus is right now. I was like, the website can wait. You know, I'm working on this right now.
Yeah. You'll get that Adventures done.
And then I can work on that.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then, but then I want to go and work on episode 6. But I guess maybe I do need a break. You know, just to kind of...
Get 5 in the glass.
A little refresh.
You know, and then, maybe decompress with a Joe Blow video. I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
6. Yeah. You got this.
But, yeah. Well, siblings, we won't keep you much longer. It's a mini. Otherwise, we'll sit here.
Just a little mini part of your day for the holiday. While you're grilling or drinking beer or whatever you're doing today. Or working.
Yeah.
You could be working.
Or working.
Yeah.
I hope you're not working.
I hope
but
not
if you are, I'm sorry.
Of course, I wish that for everyone. I wish we all could just be independently wealthy and just do whatever the hell we want all day long. And not have to give our time to the man.
Bastards.
Right. I realize in all reality that it's never going to work out. But, you know, one of those things that's nice to dream about, like in that utopia.
Certainly.
You know? But, yeah.
In case, siblings, enjoy your Monday or your week, and we'll see you back with a regular old Super Mega Crash episode come next Monday. See you later.
Bye.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.